16, turn me
Did
up.
you miss us? Because we're back. It's Views from Section 400. I'm Matt, Jack, and Brian. Action-packed episode in store for this one. No, we took a little bit of time off. We had some trivia last week. Huge IG Live for the college basketball. I know a lot of picks hit, so if you tailed, you're welcome. Tune in next week or this Saturday. We'll get some more stuff going. But obviously, Brian, huge bachelor party this weekend. Saw some ridiculous videos that do not need to be talked about on the air or shown at that matter. Yeah. But fine, welcome back, man. Glad you're still alive and well.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I made it back safely. The worst thing that happened, I lost one AirPod, so it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in NOLA. I probably went up to about 70 random people and talked their ear off about how the Mountain West is going to have 7 bids. So good time, a lot of fun down there.
You promoting the brand out there? Views from Section 400. You getting
Jack? I had the same thought.
Every conversation about the Mountain West, I plug Views. Don't you worry.
Did not reflect on the Instagram following.
It did not.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that for the next pod.
I think the issue was everyone I talked to was about as hammered as I was, and they probably forgot what I said right after.
That's usually how it goes. Other than that, man, glad you're back. Hope you had a great time. Yeah, everybody's asking it, right? LeBron, 40,000 points broken. It was the question of the day. Which sports record will never be broken again? There's so many out there. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so hard to nitpick this, that, and the third. I mean, there's a lot out there, dude.
Yeah, I have 2 locks that I'm pretty confident will never be broken ever again. LeBron, as much as his is going to be hard to break, I think it'll be possible as long as someone stays healthy. But so Cy Young, I know Jack brought him up last pod. This guy threw 749 complete games. The active leader in complete games in the major leagues right now is Justin Verlander. He has 26. In today's baseball, where these starters are going 5 innings, that's never going to be broken again. And then the other one I have with baseball is this guy, Johnny Vandermeer, threw 2 no-hitters in a row. That's never been tied, so I can't imagine it'll ever be broken. So those are my 2.
And that's the record, like, of a bunch of people tied 2 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, it could be tied, but if no one's tied it yet, I just can't see anybody throwing 3 in a row.
3 no-hitters in a row would be nuts. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty crazy one, but it's still more likely than somebody breaking Cy Young's complete game record because you said it. It's just not possible in today's game. Pitchers don't go. I mean, the only time you see a pitcher go a complete game is when they're going for a no-no or a perfect game. That's pretty much the only time. So for that to happen over 400 times in someone's career, you said Verlander's at 26. He's been around for 15, 20 years. So there's just there's no way somebody beats that.
Yeah, the dude also had 511 wins, and that's also probably never going to happen again. So
pitchers don't pitch that many games. I'd be surprised if Verlander's even tossed 500 games.
Probably not.
Not even close. My record it's going to come from my favorite record. It's Cal Ripken's Iron Man. He played 2,632 consecutive games in the MLB. No injuries, no benching, no sick days. You know, this dude, they call him the Iron Man because he was. And when that streak was broken, he went out on his own volition. It's not like he got hurt or got benched. He was like, Coach, not today. And he just did not play that game. To put that into perspective, you would have to play 17 or you would have to be 16 complete 182 game seasons, be on your 17th season, and then you could hit that record. That's nuts, dude. I don't think that's ever going to get broken.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to break. But speaking of Iron Man, you see the report that came out the other night of Micheal Bridges, like, hasn't missed a game yet?
In the NBA, that's pretty impressive. He's a skinny guy, too.
I'd have to double-check it, but he's been on a ridiculous run because I think Chet Holmgren, like, has played all 61 games this year, and so has Micheal Bridges. Micheal Bridges, to what you're saying, Jack, big Iron Man guy. Especially in, I get it, baseball is a physical sport, but these guys are running up and down, man. I mean, there's a lot more physical activity involved in basketball, I'd say, than in baseball. But
definitely. definitely.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff.
Still impressive. Like
It's still nuts.
in the era of load management.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's
These
pretty
guys
crazy.
like step on a crack on the floor and they're out 3 months. In terms of records, I don't know if this one will ever be beat, but I kind of want to ask you guys more of like a question beyond it is who will beat it, right? So we have Tom Brady, 45 years old. Does Pat Mahomes break the 45 years older? Who gets beyond 45 in the NFL? Do we see it with Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is on one leg, dude. I think his time's coming soon. And he's, what, 39, 40?
He's got the holistic medicine nonsense.
He's the next guy that would have a shot, though, no?
Yeah.
I don't see him getting to 45, dude.
Well, especially with him talking about retiring a year or two ago. I mean, and now at this stage in his career, coming off a major injury, the body definitely doesn't heal like it would at 22 years old. So I could see him retiring definitely sooner rather than later. I don't know who's going to be around that long. I really don't see that getting broken. If I had to pick one person, let's just go with Mahomes. I mean, he's that good.
That's what I said. I mean, maybe Mahomes.
To this point in his career, he hasn't had any significant injuries. I mean, he's had high ankle sprains, but I don't think that he's had, to my knowledge, any major injuries that would say, down the line, he's going to have some complications or issues.
Yeah, I don't think he's been injured at all, really. I mean, he got hurt. He had his ankle in the playoffs, and he played on it. That was really the only time I think he's been hurt. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to retire sooner than later because he's on the Jets, and the Jets are just going to drive him insane.
Probably. So, what, you guys both know Brady's record will not be broken at 45?
I think there could be a guy that comes along and does it, but it could be Mahomes. I just think.
The thing is about that question is you have to look at who these guys are. When you think about Tom Brady, you also think about LeBron in the sense of these guys have done so much to their bodies, to their lifestyle, their workouts, what they eat, their diet, all of this to be able to play for so long. LeBron, 20 seasons, Tom Brady, 45, called it a day. It's a long ass time, over 20 years in your respective sport, regardless of what sport it is. I don't care if it's fencing. Your body is going to feel it after a while. And I just don't see anybody currently in either of those leagues that are doing the same things that LeBron, that Tom Brady did to prepare their bodies to be great for an extended period of time.
So what was Brady even the record, or did we have like a kicker who was like 48 years old?
That's what I wanted to say off the bat. I was like, dude, how old did Vinatieri play until he was
right? He seemed like he played, but I mean,
I think he was like 40, but George Blanda played for a while.
A kicker has a shot there, but it's got to be a kicker or a quarterback because every other position is just way too physical.
Yeah, I think you have to rule out the kickers. I don't think the kickers count in that.
No, they don't. And quarterback definitely counts. I mean, that's 45 years old playing quarterback is pretty nuts.
Yeah, those are the only two positions that you could play a significantly long career unless your name is Frank Gore and you're built of iron.
Yeah, I'm surprised I pulled that out of my ass. George Blanda played till he was 48. Dude played 27 years in the league.
Kicker. But yeah, again, kicker.
He played some quarterback. He was the kicker and the quarterback.
Still.
Yeah, and that was what, back
different
in
era.
60s?
Like 30s and 40s.
Oh, it was what? Yeah, so wow. Predates my guess, 30 years. Interesting, though. Definitely interesting. I thought maybe Brady would own that, but I mean, I don't know. The only other guy I can think, did Jamie Moyer pitch till he was 50?
He might have. He actually
that guy was old.
That guy was 11.
That guy was old.
The rookie.
Jamie Moyer was very old.
Moyer.
He was on the Phillies playoff teams.
Yeah.
Going out there throwing playoff innings in his late 40s.
Okay, he's 61 now. When did he retire?
10 years ago? Nah, not that.
He retired in 2012. He was 49.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on the
Phillies.
He was a
pitcher.
He was 47.
Well, yeah, I was going to say He didn't get into the league until late though, right?
No, he was there for a while. He was on the Cubs in the 80s. Maybe the 90s. Either way.
Wild. Either way, ridiculous stuff.
Hey, you're trying to tell me he pitched for almost 30 years, Brian?
Well, like 89, and you go to 2010, that's what? It's 20 years. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's over. It's definitely over, but
Yeah, but
he was pitching playoff innings.
he was good.
In his
like
late
when he was
40s.
on the Phillies, he was good.
A nasty changeup.
Yeah.
Didn't know velocity, but stuff was dancing all over the zone. After that, we do it every week. Let's roll right into the Micheal of the week. Haven't had it since last week. Brian, since you've been gone, I'm sure you have a crazy Micheal of the week for us this week. What do you got, dude?
Yeah, it's not that crazy, but it's a little bit. I would say it's more annoying than it is surprising. So the NIT for the last however many years has given auto bids to the low mid-major conferences, whoever finishes first in the regular season. And I thought that was always a nice touch. You know, the teams that make it an at-large bid to the NIT, they don't want to be there. Like Michigan State with 16 wins in the NIT, they don't want to be there. They just want to go and drink in their college campuses. So why would the NIT get rid of the auto bids? This is what they're doing. The NIT will guarantee 2 teams based on net rankings from each of the 6 conferences: ACC, Big East, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and Southeastern. And then there's 20 at-large bids. So like you're putting 12 teams that don't want to be there in your tournament. And it's just like they also got rid of the Final Four in MSG. So that just surprised me. That annoyed me. I know the NIT doesn't really matter, but I still like watching it. It's on like Monday and Tuesday when the tournament's off. So like I'll turn it on, maybe bet on a game. But I don't know. That annoyed me. I feel for the kids. Justice for
They usually open that up for betting, right?
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's some good games. Like that's like the North Texas and the Eastern Kentucky might not get in this year. They just got upset. We'll talk about that later, but it's a shame. It's a shame.
I'm so sorry that you're heartbroken about NIT. I'm gonna move on to something a little bit more prevalent. I'm gonna go right into Nick Saban and the comments that he made this week. He said that players are asking, what guarantees do I have that I'll play next year, and what kind of money am I getting? And he said that is the reason that players are asking for this and these expectations. That's the reason why he doesn't want to coach anymore, why he retired. He realized that this wasn't, the same college football that he once knew. Dude, no shot. You've been paying players for a decade. I mean, with the roster that they've had there, I understand the championships. They can accumulate more and more prospects over time, recruits over time. But there's no shot that Nick Saban hasn't been paying players. Now they actually get to ask him, hey, how much am I getting paid? So the roles are reversed a little bit. But in the past, he's just been tossing them checks, tuition checks for them, their family, the nice car. I just thought it was ridiculous and a little bit surprising that he would even weigh in on this at this point. I mean, enjoy retirement.
He's pissed off because now other schools can pay people, so he doesn't have an advantage anymore. So it's ridiculous. He can't pay a guy $2,000 to get food at the dining hall. Like he's fucked now.
Yeah, well, and that's why he retired. Is what he's saying is because players are asking how much can I make, and just you're retired. You sign the papers, go. All right, don't try to act like you haven't been paying players for the past 20 years or so.
Okay.
He's maybe not direct payments, but kind of think like you mentioned, it's they were getting benefits for going to Alabama.
Yeah, some Range Rovers and some nice pairs of sunglasses, some cleats.
Is what it is. He can kind of F off and say whatever he wants now because he's got mad money and he's just a contributor at this point for the game of college football. Yes, speaking of football, keep it to the NFL here. Pretty wild news, even though he's been horrible. Russell Wilson getting released by the Broncos. I know he sucks, right? Or he sucked for the Broncos. I think the Broncos country let's ride really didn't help him. Yeah, dude. Wilson released by the Broncos, which I get it. He was horrible. But, like, dude, they take an $85 million dead cap hit.
Yeah.
It's the largest ever by a lot.
Well, they made a monumental signing for him, and then didn't work out, and they're just cutting their losses here and now while they have the chance to draft a quarterback with a top. What do they have, the 12th pick? It might not be Caleb Williams or Drake May or Daniels at the very, very top, but they're going to have their shot to get a Bo Nix or maybe a Michael Penix. So I think they're going to be happy just cutting their ties with Russ and with how bad that experiment has been over the past 2 years. First with Nathaniel Hackett, I thought it was his fault. And then Sean Payton, he didn't have much success with Wilson.
They improved a little bit under Payton compared to what Hackett gave them.
It wasn't a complete dumpster fire.
Right.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. But
it wasn't what
there was a lot of turmoil in that locker room between Wilson and the Denver organization.
Yeah, $85 million hit in dead money over the next 2 seasons because of the release.
I think he's just such a weird human being that they just wanted him gone. They didn't even want his presence there, and they were willing to
I think just the whole aroma of Wilson hovering over the Broncos country, as they like to say, has really stuck him wrong. But let's play a little, not even play, but I want to see if you guys can guess. So Russell Wilson this year, it's the highest known dead money charges. Wilson, obviously, leader of the clubhouse at $85 million. Who was number 2? All these are within the last 5 years.
So he didn't have to get cut this year? It could just be anybody cut in the last 5 years?
No. So, like, the number 2 was in 2022. Number 3 was 2023. Okay. Number 4 was 2023. And number 5 was 2021.
Yeah, Antonio Brown on the Raiders was before 2021.
Yeah, Antonio Brown is not on the list. I'll try and make it a bit easier. They are all quarterbacks.
I was going to say, how about Carson Wentz?
Wentz was 2021 at $33.8 million.
What a bum.
Yeah, I agree.
Jimmy G was traded, but was he cut by the Raiders?
Jimmy G is not on the list. I don't know how that went, but Jimmy G is not on the list.
He got a big contract.
Wasn't a big hit for him.
I'm trying to think of bum quarterbacks.
Yeah, right.
I mean, these are all like well-known guys.
How about Matt Ryan?
Who?
Matt Ryan.
I think he just retired, right?
He got cut? Number 2. He is number 2 on the list at $40.5 million.
That is crazy.
Russell Wilson's number 1 at $85 million. Matt Ryan's number 2 at $40.5 million. So that just shows you how huge of a leap this is.
Yeah.
$40 million.
They didn't just break the record. They smashed it.
Smashed it, dude. Literally over doubled it. There's 2 guys left.
I forgot Matt Ryan played for the Colts. That was a thing.
So 2022, it says Team Falcons. So I think the Falcons did cut him.
Oh, it was the Falcons?
Yeah, it was the Falcons.
That is disrespectful.
It says 2022 Team Falcons, $40.5 million.
Wow.
So I think they did cut him. And then
that is crazy.
Yeah, because they cut him and then he went and signed the 1-year deal for the Colts.
Okay.
That's how they were able to get him on the 1-year deal. The last 2 guys were 2023, and we were just talking about them.
I don't think this is one, but Ryan Tannehill?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten paid enough.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's a decent. Did Deshaun Watson get cut? No, he got traded.
If he got cut by the Browns, he might be on the list.
Yeah.
He got traded.
He wanted the contract and he got traded.
It was a sign and trade. They traded him and then he signed a huge guaranteed deal.
Yeah.
So would that even be a cap hit if the Browns released him because it was all guaranteed? I guess it wasn't all guaranteed at signing. So
yeah, you probably guarantee the salary per year. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked out, but I do know, didn't they guarantee him all the money?
Yeah.
I'm
Wouldn't
like pretty
surprise
sure
me.
they
It's the
guaranteed him.
Browns, so it would not surprise me
How
at all.
how about Cam Newton?
No. Did
No.
my mic cut out when I said we were just talking about these two guys?
No, yeah, we're just blanking.
Oh, I didn't hear you say
Oh,
that.
you did.
Oh.
Um, who are we talking? We were talking about the Colts, the Falcons.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
He got cut?
At 40.3 million, 2023.
Jesus.
And he's number 3 on the list. Just below, remember, Matt Ryan was 40.5. Aaron Rodgers was 40.3. So very close to Ryan. But Rodgers was a year later in 2023, Matt Ryan 2022. Because remember
And
that
what
2020,
what year's this last one?
2023 as well.
There's no chance it's Brady from
It is
retiring.
Brady.
Okay, so they don't need to get cut to be a cap hit then, because Rodgers definitely got traded. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Tom Brady, 2023 Buccaneers, 35.1 million. So really making Howie Roseman look like a master at the Wentz when he cut Wentz or traded him or did whatever they did to get rid of him, because he's the bottom of the list at 33.8 million. Russell Wilson. There's a record that we can talk about. Will there be a dead cap that fucking breaks 85 million?
Yes, there
And
will be.
yeah,
There will be
because of
another
inflation.
NFL. What was that?
Inflation. The contracts are going to be like 80 million a year in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, if we were sitting at 40 million, this seems like it might take a little while to break.
Yeah, but it'll
Look,
be
this
focused.
this was definitely an outlier, but Brian's right. These contracts will just get bigger and bigger, and there is a guarantee that some organization will make a bad quarterback decision and have to take an extreme dead cap hit. It's going to happen again.
Anyway, that's the Michael of the week. Hope everybody enjoyed. Always sponsored by our bracketology over at Views from Section 400. So make sure you check that shit out because it's heating up. We're in March. The weather's getting nicer here in the Northeast. You can start smelling the fresh air, the crisp, clean, fresh air. March Madness is here. The Michael of the week presented by bracketology over on Views from Section 400. Make sure you go check that out. Again, like I said, you're going to be doing the office parties, the office brackets, this, that, and the third. Might as well have some good insight. And look out, I have heard rumors might be having a Views from Section 400 bracket. Stay tuned for some updates. That's all I got to say there. There's your little tease of the week. But yeah, obviously we just had a little bit of NFL talk. I say we keep it NFL centric here and not jump all over the place. We had the combine. We had some free agency news. So, Jack, I know you had some combine stuff you wanted to talk about. You're a combine guy, right? You're there. You got your clipboard out. You know, you're looking at the guys that are playing in the mid-major college football who were showing up to the combine. Who can the Jaguars snipe in the 5th, 6th, 7th round?
Yeah, no, I was locked in to the NFL Combine. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had defensive players go. Then they had some quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs on Saturday. Obviously, the juiciest day. Put it on the Saturday, and then they finish off the Sunday with some linemen. But the combine was awesome. It always is. These guys are freak athletes. The explosiveness that NFL players have is crazy. At quarterback, Joe Milton over at Tennessee. I don't know if you guys saw this man throw the football, but he tossed it like a baseball. That shit went flying. Like, so they do this one drill where they're throwing a deep ball, a Hail Mary. Most of these guys, they said, go, drop back. They do the 3-5 step drop, chuck it deep. You know, it's a nice synchronized play. Milton said, go, did his drop, just stood there for like 3-4 seconds, threw the ball 80, I think it was 71 yards on a dot, dude. Just on a dot, 71 yards. I don't know how far you guys can throw a football. I don't know if I can get it past 50 yards, but it was insane, dude. So, Brian, Matt, either of you guys catch that?
I didn't see him gun it deep. I didn't see him gun him deep, but I know who I didn't see throw the ball. Caleb Williams.
No, he did not. No, he did not. But yeah, not everybody shows out at the combine. They all do their own pro days too. And he's obviously going to go number 1, number 2, number 3. I mean, he's going to go up there unless the Bears fuck around. But he'll be up there. He doesn't need to do all the theatrics for everyone, even though we would love it.
Yeah, he'll be drafted 1. Jack, do you really think he could throw a football 50 yards? I don't think I can get past 30. Yeah.
Probably not. I didn't want to sound like a pussy, but I could probably toss it 40 yards. Yeah, I think I could get it 40 yards. 50's a stretch.
I think I'd end up around like the 30 to 40 mark with that.
I mean, dude, I've played baseball my whole life. I still throw all the time.
Different throwing motion though. Different throwing.
It is, but if you know how to crow hop, you know how to crow hop.
Yeah, I will warn NFL teams about Joe Milton. So we saw the same thing with Zach Wilson, and then you saw him with the short throws. He just couldn't throw it to anybody. So that's kind of what we might see with Mr. Joe over there.
Yeah, no, I was thinking I would honestly, after seeing that deep ball though, I would, if you're drafting Bo Nix, for example, the Broncos, as we were talking about earlier, take him at 12 overall. To take a Joe Milton later on, just to have to throw a late game Hail Mary because you know your quarterback Bo Nix can't.
Hey, he's got the other Auburn guy. They got Stidham there still.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying. It's like having Jacoby Brissett for the QB sneaks and the Hail Mary.
Like you know, good game manager. You know, he's not going to be able to make that deep throw. You know, even though Milton is a quarterback and he's going to want a real shot, this is an ability that he has that not a lot of people do. That's all I'll say about that. Let's move on from Milton. How about Xavier Worthy? 4.21, 40-yard dash, set the NFL Combine record. That was electric. You guys see that?
Again, I didn't. I saw the headline, but I was my head was in other spaces.
All right. Well, let me close the combine on one last comment from me. Our boy Dylan Johnson, Huskies running back, he had himself a tough combine. You know what? I don't really care. If I'm an NFL scout and I watch that run that Washington made and what Dylan Johnson brought to that team on the ground with his toughness and his Iron Man mentality playing through those injuries, I don't care about the fact that he ran 20th out of the 21 running backs in the 40-yard dash. I don't care. It was that bad.
That's pretty bad.
20th out of the 20
pretty bad.
running backs.
Who knows? He could have showed up injured, and he just did it because he's a dog.
Well, that's the thing is he got interviewed as everyone did at the combine, and he was saying, he ended up being late to all this stuff because the doctors of all the teams were poking at him with the ankles after what happened in the championship run. So there were a lot of people that were poking at him, messing with him. He didn't have his best performance at the combine. Again, 20th out of 21 in the 40-yard dash, but I'm going back to my original point. I don't care. The fact that I saw him take 20, 25 carries, late in the fourth quarter, just still running through people, that's the kind of guy I want. I want a dog. So that stuff doesn't show up on the combine stats, but that's the kind of running back that I want on my team.
How slow was 20th out of 21st? Would he run like a 4.8?
I think it was 4.67, but you have to double check.
4.67. Like he's not really a burner anyway.
Tough dude.
No, I'd take him on the Giants, considering we might be getting rid of Saquon here.
Brian, how fast is your 40 time?
I think I could run a 5, like a 5.2.
Really?
I think so. A 5.
What's the over under?
Probably a 5.3.
5.3 is the over under.
I think I could run a 5.3.
Really?
I want to say I could run a 5, but I think I could run a 5.3.
I'm gonna take the over on the 5.3.
I would lean over as well.
That's not like a 5.3 is pretty damn slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that slow.
We know. I think we need to get your hammies stretched out and get this going. Let us know in the comments. Can Brian run quicker than a 5.3? Jack and I don't think so. But hey, maybe that's something fun we can set up as the weather breaks here and we can get Brian out on a field and see if he can break the 5.3. I'll put it this way: in high school, and I feel like I'm faster than you, Brian. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I ran like a 5 flat.
Yeah. I don't think I'm 0.3 seconds slower than you.
I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I just don't know.
53 likes on this YouTube video, and I will set up a webcam and run a 40-yard dash this weekend.
You guys heard the man. Get it done.
53 likes.
But yes, speaking of NFL, I do want to clarify. I know we were talking about the dead money stuff. I think the dead money for the Broncos this year is 49 million
total,
but it'll be 85 total over the next 2 years. So I know that seemed like way higher, but I also don't really know what the fuck dead money means. So I'm just a bit lost on the whole thing.
It's all fake. You can defer it.
It's like all
salary
fake
caps aren't real.
That's what it said.
Fake. That's what it said. I was reading into it, and it's like they can defer it. It's like prorated. You can turn it into signing bonus. Then it basically just disappears off the books. So like it's a little bit of nonsense, and they just try and use big words to confuse you. But it's basically essentially money that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's basically essentially some lawyer stuff that gets you really confused.
No, like dead ass.
Yep. And yeah, no one's gonna look into it because
exactly. But I did want to clarify that because I don't know, because it did say 85 million. So either way, just wanted to clarify that, because then on the other graphic I saw it said 49.6 million for 2025. But then 2024 said 80. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Either way, it's a big fucking cap hit. More news, though. The Bills releasing Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, and Mitch Morse. Tre'Davious White and Jordan Poyer are huge players on that defense.
Yep.
Yeah. Huge on the secondary.
I would love to see the Eagles go after Jordan Poyer.
They probably will.
They probably will. But I would love – that's a huge signing that they can make. Just got rid of Kevin Byard. Makes sense. I've heard rumors, CJ Gardner-Johnson, reunion. He kind of trashed on the fans, so I don't think that's going to happen. Well, after one of the playoff games, his car got robbed or stolen or something happened. So that was number one. Then number two, after he left, he was like shitting on the city and shit on the fans. So I don't think we see him come back. But Jordan Poyer, that would be an electric upgrade in the Eagles secondary. Really help. Leader of men kind of player. Howie, go get your safety, man. Go get Jordan Poyer. The Bills just threw him out like he was a piece of garbage. Go swoop him up. Do your thing.
Yeah, well, you speak of leader of men and the Eagles. They just got Kellen Moore to be their offense. They might have just hired the worst offensive coordinator.
Right, I'm talking defense here, dude.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter if the offense is complete shit.
I don't think he's that bad.
I love how he has like a 1 year buffer in LA with the Chargers, and now he's over against the Cowboys' rivals, the Eagles.
Dak Prescott,
he's going to have a little more juice.
Not that Dak Prescott's great by any means, but he looked like trash with Kellen Moore, and then he was in the MVP conversation for forever with fucking Mike McCarthy there, and Justin Herbert was a piece of shit last year. So what exactly are you getting here with Kellen Moore?
Was Kellen Moore the offensive coordinator last year?
Yeah, right?
For the Chargers, yeah.
This past year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it on Brandon Staley. But anyway, leader of men, how about Chase and Kelce retiring? I mean, what that guy meant to the city of Philadelphia. Exactly. I mean, I was tearing up at his fucking retirement press conference, man. That was sad. That guy meant so much to the city, so much to the team. He's obviously still going to be involved. Travis made the trip to Philly, to the NovaCare complex to check it out. He was tearing up, which obviously that's his brother. How could he not? But yeah, man, I mean, Jason, when you watch this, man, thanks, man, for everything you've done for real. I mean, it's been absolutely electric watching you play your whole career here. And winning the Super Bowl, obviously couldn't get it done against the Chiefs, which still stings and still is irritating to think about. But, I love what you said, man. Nick Foles just having the biggest dick in the world to fucking make that Super Bowl Philly call, and Doug Peterson having the biggest balls to say, yeah, man, let's run that play on 4th and goal in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Unbelievable. But yeah, Kelce retired. They got Cam Jurgens lined up, so we'll see what he turns into. I'm not worried about the Eagles at all. I think they'll figure it out. They'll get a little bit of an easier schedule this year as well, because they had the super hard schedule last year, which, oh, by the way, they were 10-1 until I don't know what happened after the 10-1, but they were 10-1. And they steamroll. Yeah, well, that was part of it, but they did steamroll through a lot of the competition that people had them losing to. People forget they blew out the Dolphins when Tyreek Hill was going off.
The Dolphins were frauds,
but I was
they weren't
say,
though.
You guys may have blown out the Dolphins, but that 10-1 streak, you did not blow out a lot of those 10-1. A lot of teams in that 10-1 streak. I mean, you guys could have been 5-5 just as easy. You know what I mean?
They beat the Bills. Yeah, no, they didn't blow them out, but they were 10-1.
Bills is a perfect example. I mean, the Bills choked that game away and gave it to you.
Nah, I wouldn't say gave it to them.
Dave Davis ran the wrong route in overtime.
That shouldn't have even been in overtime.
It wasn't. The refs didn't help him out. I'll put it that way.
Either way, it didn't end up mattering.
We don't need to rehash.
It didn't end up mattering.
Yeah, we don't need to rehash. Don't interrupt me while I'm talking about Jason Kelce, because we can dive into Jaguars talk just as easy over there, Jackie boy.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, we can.
We want to?
Not about the playoffs.
Let's start it up right now.
Not about the playoffs.
I thought he was going to jump in once he said something about Doug Peterson's balls.
I thought he was too.
Name me the only player in NFL history with 18 tackles and 2 interceptions in a single NFL game.
It's probably your guys, DN from last year. Who was that?
They just tagged him, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
We did just tag Josh Allen, but that's not who it is. 18 tackles, 2 picks, 1 game. Rayshon Jenkins, our safety, who unfortunately got cut today. But
they cut the corner too. They cut him and Williams.
Oh, Darius. Well, yeah, no, I know, but that's fine. That's fine. I just had to give a shout out to Rayshon, bro.
Great move.
It was a good move. Honestly, to cut Darius Williams, not a bad move. He had himself a pretty good year last year, but not good enough. I have to give a shout out to Rayshon Jenkins, though. He came up huge for us 2 years ago when we made that playoff run, beating the Titans in the last game of the regular season to make ourselves the AFC South champions. And then going on into the Chargers game, making that insane comeback to beat the Chargers at home in the first round. That was all inspired by Rayshon Jenkins and some of the things he did that season with the turnovers and the ball hawking. So just had to give him a special shout out for making our team have an awesome run 2 years ago. I'm sad that he got cut. Not sure if he'll get picked up by another team. I honestly would kind of be surprised. I just think there are younger guys, more explosive guys in the league, but he's a veteran mind who is super savvy and would be a good addition to any coaching room. That's for sure. Any DB coaching room.
Be interesting. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but don't we think 18 tackles can be not inflated, but wouldn't that stat sound better if it was tackles for loss? Because you could be making tackles 20 yards down the field.
Bro, who's making 18 tackles for loss in a game?
No, I'm just saying.
Speaking of records that'll never be broken.
It's not as crazy of a stat as you painted it out to be. If he's making tackles 20 yards down the field, that's not all right, he made a tackle and they still got a first down.
Look,
think
18 tackles, 2 picks. I mean, no one else has ever done it in
It's
the
a lot of
NFL.
tackles.
It's a lot of
Special
tackles.
shout out.
It's a lot of tackles. If you got him on fantasy for the leagues that have the one
The
defensive
punter league?
player, the guy had a week.
Yeah. Look,
The
it's
guy
not
had a lot
that
of
crazy.
points.
It can be beaten. Somebody else can have 18 tackles and 2 picks in a game, or 19 tackles or 3 picks. You know what I mean? But look, he's the only one to do it. Give him his flowers.
Yes. And speaking of D-backs, though, look at all the other D-backs on the board. Jamal Adams.
Xavier
Who's the
McKinney.
other guy? Quandre Diggs. Back to the Eagles, at least. Howie Roseman. I don't know why Bradbury's still on the team. There's clearly other guys to go get. You want to talk about dead cap? Take the freaking dead cap on that guy.
Did they re-sign him? How is he still on a contract?
They re-signed him, I think, after the Super Bowl year.
Okay.
And then he was a fraud this past year. But it's not like a crazy contract. It was like a 3-year, like $22 million deal.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So it's like not a horrible. It's not like they gave him like $50 million.
Here we go talking about Bradbury again.
Plus, we got the salary cap increase, so now it really doesn't look as bad.
And you're still seeing all these players get cut, and you're still seeing the Giants not tag Saquon Barkley or Xavier McKinney. And the owner is saying there's buyer's remorse on Daniel Jones. Malik Neighbors is saying.
Really? You think?
They asked Malik Neighbors if he would go to the Giants, and he said they better get a quarterback to throw me the ball. Like the team is just in shambles right now. I mean, you guys could bitch about your teams, but at least you know in the back of your mind they're going to be competitive. I'm just sitting here like the Giants are the Mets now, and the Mets are still the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets are still the
Brian's
Mets, which is just unreal. I mean, yeah, so that's why he's sitting there with an Expos hat on.
Yeah, I refuse to wear the Mets hat right now. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything to say about Saquon. It sucks.
I thought you'd be a little more animated. All right, man.
I mean, they weren't gonna
willow off
re-sign him
in silence and let it soak in even more.
Yeah, I mean, I love Saquon. It sucks.
Like Matt Paredes, your starting running back.
They're gonna get someone else. They're probably gonna. They're gonna either draft someone or it's gonna be Eric Gray. But like at this point, just rebuild because you've already pretty much said Daniel Jones was a mistake, which he was. But like they come out and say
rebuild while paying a quarterback $50 million.
Well, we just talked about how cap is not real, so just cut him. Go get Penix or go get Bo Nix. I don't even care at this point. Just get somebody and cut Daniel Jones.
Giants, absolutely disaster franchise. They have, you want to talk about money tied up. Jack, you kind of talked about it earlier. A team's going to make a stupid decision on a quarterback contract. You want to talk about bad contract. You owe that guy $50 million for the next, 2 years?
Yeah, I think 2 or 3. It's still kind of shitty. Still kind of shitty of the owner to say there was buyer's remorse when he hasn't done much to put anything around Daniel Jones, and now he's getting rid of his best weapon.
No, and he obviously was the owner there who hired Gettleman, who made that draft pick.
I was looking over their draft classes to see like how much they've really helped Daniel Jones, and the only guy still on the roster from the 2021 draft class is Gary Brightwell. Like, that is abysmal. The backup running back in the 6th round. It's just horrible.
By the way, I think Leonard Williams was like a huge cap hit for you guys.
Probably was.
Yeah, it was like high 20s.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're going to use that draft pick. Probably.
I don't either. But in other free agency news, Zach Ertz signing with the Commanders. What a traitor. What are you doing, man? Signing with the Commanders. I mean, I get the Commanders are the Commanders, so not really that worried about it. And he's probably the most money he got offered, if we're being honest. So for 1 year, take your $5 million. I get it. But damn, dude, that's going to be weird playing him twice a year.
Yeah, he'll be getting some opportunity out there too. I'm sure he's excited about that.
Commanders got some good. I don't know if good is the right word, but they got some young tight ends over there. So I don't understand the signing.
I was gonna say,
Well,
man, is the
they
DC fan
cut-
base rubbing off on you over there?
They cut Logan Thomas. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know
they got Cole Foster, and then there's another kid over there. But they got two young tight ends that you would think they would want to play, but I guess not.
Well, you need Daddy Ertz to reel him in, teach him the ropes.
I guess
Well,
so.
that's like a decent. I mean, I get it. The salary cap went up, so what? That 1 year $5 million deal is like really like 1 year $2 million.
Yeah, I guess it's
Comparative to last year, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
with the cap
the salary
going up
cap
so
goes
much,
up every year with inflation, but this year was crazy
a
because
huge increase because of Taylor Swift.
Taylor
and
Swift
just-
money.
and Brandon.
So then, last thing, Texans re-signed Dalton Shultz, so they bring back C.J. Stroud's one of his weapons. That's nuts, man. Imagine if C.J. Stroud gets like a nuts, not that like they'd get A.J. Brown, but like an A.J. Brown type receiver, just like absolute unit stud of a number one. What if the Texans get?
Kind of have Nico
Yeah,
Collins.
Nico
Pretty
Collins.
damn good.
Nico
Nah,
Collins
I
fits,
mean-
fits that
I'm-
profile.
Tank
I
Dell
mean,
is
like
pretty
it-
damn good too.
I mean, like a Stephon Diggs type guy,
Okay, you mean like a top 10 special dude?
a premier wideout.
Look, I mean they could
If
do
you're sitting
that.
here advocating that Tank Dell's a premier wideout,
Yeah,
I would disagree.
I'm not saying that. I mean, with the way he played this year, threat, absolute stud. I mean, he did his job very, very well this year. And Nico Collins is built like a wide receiver one, a Devontae Adams type dude. So you love to see that. But I hear you. Neither of these guys are a Diggs or an Adams. If he got that, yeah, it'd be pretty freaking nuts.
Be
Those
nuts.
usually come in free agency unless you get lucky with a draft pick.
Collins had 200 yards in basically a playoff game. Like this guy's really good.
Yeah, I like Nico Collins a lot. I'm not going to sit here and call him a top 10 wide receiver.
Small sample size. 1 year is not a lot in the not for long league, so we'll see if they can repeat it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we had the same conversation about Puka and put him outside the top 15. So I can't.
Yeah. So that's
Can't put Nico up
wild.
there.
That it's. This
All I'm
guy's
saying
good.
is Nico's pretty damn good.
We'll see. And all I'm saying is we'll see.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
So moving on. That's a lot of
That's a
NFL.
lot of NFL.
I didn't think we'd get into that much NFL, though. It is kind of heating up, dude. You can always dive into some NFL talk. Let's jump over to what people actually care about in March, though, other than the NFL League New Year. It's March Madness. We're right around the corner, 2 weeks away. Obviously, we'll have the MLB Opening Day during it, but March Madness, 2 weeks away.
Well, I will, before we get into that, say I got laughed at when I said the winner of Tennessee and Auburn was going to be the last one seed, and we are trending towards Tennessee being the last one seed. So I just like to say that I was pretty right on that take. And then I look at our live on Saturday, and you guys are shitting on Tennessee again. And then what do they go out and beat Bama?
And no, yes, definitely laughed at you when you said the winner of that game will be the one seed, 100%. I also did say that you could be right. I just wasn't sold on it.
That's fair.
Is what I said.
That's fair enough. But there were laughs coming out of your mouth.
Oh, 100% was laughing when you first said it. But I did hone it in and say, look, I'm not disagreeing. I just wasn't sold. And hey, look, there's still not a lock for that last spot.
Yeah, no, that's not. It's probably going to come down to, like Jack mentioned, UNC. It'll come down to the Tennessee and UNC.
Which you laughed at UNC.
Yeah, because I think Duke is going to win that game tomorrow, or when they're watching this on Saturday. And then UNC will be cooked. So actually, Tennessee's playing tonight. Let's see how they're doing before I take my flowers.
Oh, I really hope they get blown out. At South Carolina as well.
They're at South Carolina.
But South Carolina already beat Tennessee, so I can see Tennessee like below it, like
Tennessee's up 9 with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah,
so they should be good.
I could see a big win from that, just because South Carolina already beat them. So that's just usually how that trends.
Did you guys happen to catch any of the Atlantic Sun tournament last night?
Dude, I got home and went right to bed, man. Work has been kicking my ass.
I was watching some college basketball. It was not the Atlantic Sun tournament. It was It was Auburn putting up a casual 100-point dub. It was Kansas rolling Kansas State. It was Florida beating Bama. Oh, that was beautiful. I love seeing Bama lose.
Killed them. Killed them.
Yeah, they dropped 100 on them. But what I will say, I don't have any love for Florida either. I would not want to see them in the tournament. I mean, obviously, as an Auburn fan, I don't want to see them. They took our lunch money when we played them recently, and we don't match up well. But I don't think a lot of teams are going to match up well, and they're playing some good basketball right now. So watch out for Florida making some upset run in this March Madness.
Yeah, they're going to be like right in that 6-7 line, and they're going to give a 2 or 3 real trouble in that second game.
Yeah, the only thing with Florida, though, is I don't love them at a neutral site / which was really what trends to a road game. Like, they're a really good home team, but I don't know how they're – like, a neutral site leans more as a road game than it does a home game. And that's why, again, you guys don't want to hear it on this either, but Auburn's going to struggle as well because they're not protected by their Auburn home court.
Yeah, well, neutral games for Auburn tend to lean home games for Auburn, but it's also not Neville Arena with a bunch of students in there. So,
remember when Nashville was Auburn North?
Well, it was
for the bowl game.
They just put up a dud because Hugh Freeze
for the Music City Bowl.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I mean, Hugh Freeze decided not to coach that week. But
I don't think anybody even showed up. Did they throw the JV team out there?
Yeah,
they might have.
Auburn High.
It was literally Auburn High. It literally was Auburn High out there. Anyway, I think some of these teams will struggle that we see, like, again, in Auburn, Florida, who are so dominant at home, when they go out on the road or neutral site, which is essentially a road game, I think we're going to see some struggle. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Brian. What were you saying?
I mean, I just wanted to I could mention the ASUN tournament, but I wanted to bring it up because it was kind of wild, and people need to be watching these conference tournaments.
What do you got, dude? Did Stetson do something ridiculous? Kennesaw State, Jacksonville?
So, the 10 seed Jacksonville took down 1 seed Eastern Kentucky. Talked about that already. 30 minutes later, Austin, PA takes down the 4 seed North Florida in overtime. And then we see Lipscomb go down to the 6 seed North Alabama on a game-winning floater by a guy that went to Lipscomb his first 2 years in college.
Wait, you said Austin P lost?
They beat North Florida. They upset North Florida in overtime. They hit a game-tying shot at the buzzer to send it to overtime. And then
Austin P is not a bad team. They got the dude who has one hand, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Yeah, they
were one arm.
It wasn't a
that guy?
5-4 upset.
So yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Something Hansel, maybe? I don't know.
Couldn't
Either way, he's got one arm and he gets a lot of minutes. So that'd be nuts if we see him in the NCAA tournament. But we're gonna have to see Austin P win the ASUN for that to happen.
Yep, it's wide open. It's the 2 seed, the 4 seed, the 2 seed, the 5 seed, the 10 seed, and the 6 seed left. So, I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's why I love the mid-major tournaments. But what else? We got a couple others. So, Brian, I want to go through. Who do you got winning it, dude?
Winning the whole thing?
No, the ASUN tournament. Or, like, I don't know, pick a couple tournaments and give your conference winner so people can get some future bets going.
All right, I'm not going to pick the ASUN because it's a shit show. I'm rooting for madness, and I don't want to have to root for an interest for a team. But I'll give you.
Okay, so root for the 10 seed Jacksonville.
I mean, that's reckless. I think they're
that is very reckless.
15 and 16 on the year, like 4 and 11 in the ASUN. But I'll give you Tennessee for the SEC tournament, Gonzaga for the WCC, Nevada for the Mountain West. That'll be a juicy one. ACC is going to be Duke because UNC is not winning that and not getting a 1 seed. What's the last? Oh, Big Ten's a shit show. Probably Purdue. And then people will pick Purdue to go to their Final Four.
We're going to run through it. Atlantic Sun, who do you got?
We'll go with Northern Alabama.
I thought Northern Alabama just lost.
No, they won. The guy from Lipscomb hit the buzzer beater on Lipscomb.
What?
The guy went to Lipscomb for his first 2 years of school and then transferred to North Alabama.
You said the guy from Lipscomb hit the shot.
I did.
Jack, you heard
made
that, right?
sense. It made sense.
It
if
made
you
sense
knew
in my head. Or
It made sense to me too because I heard you earlier talk about it.
he went to Lipscomb's first 2 years, then transferred, and then he just hit the game winner on their home floor. Pretty crazy.
So North Alabama beat who? Lipscomb?
Yes.
With the guy who was on Lipscomb.
Yes, and he hit the game
But then
winner. He
interesting.
missed a free throw, and then Lipscomb came down, hit a game time 3 with 4 seconds left, and then he came back down and hit a floater to win it.
Is South Florida winning the AAC?
No, FAU is going to win that.
You think FAU's got that wrapped up?
Yes.
Zach Myers is not going to like to hear that.
I know he's not, but FAU is
not gonna like that.
FAU is free.
He's not going to like that one.
FAU is free money in that tournament.
Really?
He's not going to like me saying that.
No, he's not. Especially he was sporting his South Florida T-shirt in the office the other day that he had just bought off the off the university site. Great T-shirt, by the way. All right, last one because obviously this could drag on for a while if we go through every conference. ACC, North Carolina or Duke?
I said Duke.
Yep.
I got Clemson in a sneaky pick. Give me Clemson just to be different. I don't want to just pick Duke or UNC. That's what everybody's going to say.
Yeah,
Give me Clemson in a sneaky play.
That's sneaky. I can't see Clemson beating both of them, and they're going to have to.
No, they're going to knock off one of them, or Virginia's going to knock off Duke.
You're saying that after what you saw the last time?
Yes, dude, it's so classic Duke. And actually, this is probably the best conference, Big 12. Who's got that conference tournament?
Our future, Kansas.
Jack, I need a pick from you, dude. Best conference.
Give me Kansas.
All right, I will be different and say the Iowa State Cyclones.
I knew that's where you were leaning.
Absolutely. All right, I got to do the Big East. All right, the Cats are on right now, dude. The Cats are the last team in. Hopefully they're beating Seton Hall.
It was a scene.
It was a scene? Shit.
They lost by 10.
They lost by 10?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I think they'll still be in, I think. But
that's not a good loss, dude. That's horrible.
You might need a Providence loss. The Wake Forest loss helped you. Wake Forest just blew their shit against Georgia Tech at home.
Interesting stuff. But yeah, either way, college basketball, it's the best time of the year for that. Best time of the year for that.
I know you were asking me too, but my Big East team is going to be UConn.
Oh, I was going to say.
I guess we never gave a pick for that.
I figured that. Yeah, we didn't really. I just kind of got rock hard about Nova for a sec.
Are you taking Nova?
I was stunned that they lost by 10. Is really what happened. Since Jack's pretty into it, dude. Jack, we can keep it rolling here, dude, if you want to keep giving out some picks. I'm all about it.
I also wanted to say, I will backtrack because it's kind of been bothering me for the past 45 seconds since I said it right after Brian. But as much as I love the Jayhawks, dude, Houston's legit. They're so fucking.
They're really good.
Yeah, I know we gave them out as a future, but I was not like, dude, fuck Kansas.
Houston, like. Everything that I've watched so far this basketball season, all signs are pointing to Houston, which should be a bad thing, right? Like, it never works out the way you think it will, but everything points to Houston being that team for me. And
I don't even know why I agreed to Kansas as the future. Like, I hate Kansas. I hope they lose. I hope they lose first rounds.
I think Kansas is the same way as Gonzaga right now, where everybody's writing them off and they're just primed for a run. But I do agree with you, Jack, that Houston is really fucking good.
Yeah. Houston's lights out. I mean, dude, there is a reason why they're already a lock for a 1 seed.
Yeah.
I think they could get upset in their first game of the Big 12 tournament, and they're probably still a 1 seed.
Oh, yeah, the tournament's not going to matter for them.
They're not losing their first game. They're going to play like a nonsense Big 12 team, and they'll win.
Well, the Texas is 9th in the Big 12 right now.
They're beating Texas.
Probably. I'm just saying that conference is so damn deep.
It is deep, but I got Houston all day in that.
Yeah, there's gonna be I think the 8 seed in the Big East tournament. They're gonna win it. The St. John's Red Storm taking the Big East tournament. That's my pick for that.
Yeah,
good-
Houston's gonna have to play like a Kansas State or an Oklahoma in their first game.
They almost just lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, but I don't see them. That was Oklahoma's like best effort.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if we get that 2 times in a row.
They won't lose to Kansas State, that's for sure.
Not losing Kansas State. Maybe, UCF could have like a sneaky play where they end up somehow in that and doesn't
Who's
work
at the
out
bottom?
for
Is
them.
it Oklahoma State at the bottom of the Big 12?
Yeah, the 2 teams who
Yeah.
have absolutely no shot and will get blown out. Well, they'll probably play each other in the first was West Virginia and Oklahoma State.
West Virginia.
And they're
Forgot
both
about
horrible. Then
Yeah.
Cincinnati fell off a cliff after like a hot start to the year. They are 6-11 in the Big 12.
We moved them on the right side of the bubble, and then they must have read our bracketology because it got to their head and they just fell off.
And then last question. I know I keep saying last question and then rapid fire like 5 more out, but is TCU in? I know I love TCU. Joe Lenardi hates them. They're 8-8 in the Big 12, 19-10 overall.
They're in.
They're in. On a two game
I would have to look
losing
at the
streak.
wins and losses, but that's a good enough resume off of brass tacks for me to say they're in.
They're in.
On a 2-game losing streak as well.
Yeah, they're in.
Other team that'll be frauds in come March Madness, BYU. Horrible road team.
You hate
Horrible.
them.
I do hate BYU,
Baylor.
but they are a horrible
Baylor!
road team.
Yeah, Baylor.
Baylor might be my favorite team in the country.
No.
Baylor also frauds. Crazy stat, by the way. Houston and Iowa State ran the table this year at home. Both went undefeated. Houston 16-0 at home this year. Iowa State 17-0 at home this year.
Wow.
Wake Forest was undefeated, and then they just blew it to Georgia Tech.
UConn was undefeated as well.
Last thing I want to ask about college basketball before we move off. The UNC Duke game on Saturday, is that going to decide the ACC
So
regular season champion?
UNC has it, and it's either going to be a share with Duke or outright if they win. So if Duke wins, they'll share the title, and then if UNC wins, it's outright.
I hate that they share it, dude.
There's a way the SEC. Well, actually, I don't think anymore. South Carolina needs to beat Tennessee, but going into tonight, there was a way the SEC could have a 5-way tie for the
Yeah,
championship.
I saw that.
I'm just looking through this, and there's actually a lot of teams that went undefeated at home this year. Should I go through them or no?
Auburn damn near did. Who did Auburn lose to? Who did
Auburn
they lose
did
to?
not. Grand
they-
Canyon went
someone-
undefeated.
Right?
Who?
Was
What?
it? No, we
Who
lost
the
on
fuck did they lose to at home? They lost to one team at home.
Was it Florida or was that on the
No,
road?
that was in Florida.
They lost to some. Oh, they lost to Bama at home.
They beat Bama at home. They lost to Bama on the road.
Texas A&M.
oh,
Texas
dude,
Tech.
it was the LSU loss.
LSU.
Didn't we
They
lose
didn't lose to
LSU?
LSU.
They didn't lose to LSU.
Yeah, we
I
did.
thought they blew LSU out.
No, they blew them out by like 30.
Yeah. That was like they were like 12.5 on the spread, and Brian, you were like, they're winning this game by 25 points.
Who did they
And wasn't
yeah.
I was like, I don't know, dude. LSU might keep it close. Or maybe that was a South Carolina game. I said they'll keep it close.
All right, hold on. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I
But
gotta
either way,
look it
why
up.
you guys look that up? Grand Canyon undefeated at home. St. Mary's undefeated on the road. For all you bracketology
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
for all you bracketology people out there, St. Mary's undefeated on the road. That will bode well for March Madness.
We also haven't played probably any quad one teams on the road.
Yeah, we got to see. Look at that. Appalachian State undefeated at home, beat Auburn.
Yep.
McNeese undefeated at home.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried we might play them first round, Jack. In that
Who,
5-12.
McNeese?
Yeah.
Who?
Auburn gets a 5, plays McNeese in the 5-12 game.
That would not be a good game for Auburn to start the tournament out.
Will Wade back in an SEC game too.
That's just
Look,
not. Auburn needs to be eased into the tournament. That is not a game they need to play
No.
first round.
Yeah, no.
They need to get a 4 seed and play like a UC Irvine.
Yeah,
Even that might not be great.
Yeah,
Nah, they would beat UC Irvine.
They'd beat UC Irvine.
They could give them like trouble in the beginning, but I think Auburn would eventually pull away. They'd beat UC Irvine.
Yeah,
I'd be
Auburn's
surprised.
defense.
I would be surprised if we're anything below a 4 seed.
Probably be a 4.
Yeah. I would be surprised if we're a 5 or 6 seed. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, it'll be a 4.
Definitely not a 6. Definitely not a 6. 5 if they like blow up somehow.
Yeah, if they lose to Georgia and then lose first round, maybe.
No, we're gonna need to lose some key players to injury beforehand, and they're gonna have to Florida State us.
I mean, we already lost Lior, big part of the team.
The last thing on Auburn.
I mean,
they're locked.
I love Lior, but do we really? Is it that big of a deal, Brian?
It would have been nice to have him.
Well, no doubt. I mean, an extra guy, a vet, smart player, but not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world.
It's not Chuma Okeke during a Final Four run.
Justice.
So are you guys like delusional Auburn's winning it all, or are you guys realistic?
Auburn has a shot. They're in the triangle of excellence.
There's no doubt that they have a shot, but
they're in that trapezoid with the Ken Palm rankings.
We're gonna need guys to step up, and as Brian's been saying all year, we're gonna need some of the guards to step up and start hitting some shots. And we honestly have not seen that through the 30 games this year. We have not seen that, but come tournament time, if they can turn it up like Bryce Brown and Jared Harper did just a few years ago, yeah, we could win this whole dang thing.
Should I do another one of my 0% chance picks?
I'm gonna say 0% chance Auburn wins it all.
Yeah, the only other time I did that was when I said Jaguars have a 0% chance to win the Super Bowl. So I will come out and say Auburn has a 0% chance to win the national title.
That's
0.
Saying 0 is crazy.
Nah, that is crazy. And I don't even believe that. But I did firmly believe the Jaguars won. No hate to you, Jack. But let's keep it rolling on. The Auburn definitely has a shot.
Yeah, it's probably
I don't like them playing neutral / road games / whatever you want to call it.
I wouldn't put money on them to win it all, but if they get a good draw where they can kind of use their defense to confuse teams, then they got a shot at the Final Four.
They can make a run. I mean, look at Appalachian State on the road. That is a legitimate issue.
Also like a matinee, 11 o'clock, early season, traveling to Appalachian State, like
right when they announced the college football Final Four.
Yeah, like
that's like literally what like they were playing right in the midst of like that whole news breaking.
Yeah, they had their minds in other spots. Chad Baker-Mazara wasn't Chad Baker-Mazara yet. Like they're a different team now.
Either way, let us know in the comments who you got winning it all.
I have a few things with the NBA. So Chris Paul made a layup to cut the lead to 46 against the Celtics the other day. This could have been my Micheal of the week, honestly. I was walking through the airport hungover, and I looked up to my left on the TV, and I saw the Warriors were behind like 95 to 46. After we talked about the Warriors being a possible team to upset the Thunder in the first round. Like, how are you down 50 points?
It's regular season.
It's the NBA, dude. Like, it's what it is. These guys don't try. Like, you'll literally watch the Warriors will be an 8 seed, and they'll beat, like, the Timberwolves first round.
50 points is crazy.
Fully convinced that'll happen, and they'll probably do it in 5 games.
Yeah, and if that surprises you, you haven't been watching basketball for the past decade and seeing
what's 50 points. Like 50 points is crazy.
Brian, they took out Steve Kerr benched Draymond. He's benched Draymond and Steph after I think it was halftime.
Yeah, because they were down 50 at half. How do you go down 50 and a half?
Look, man, the Celtics are good. They're the number 1 team in the East by, I believe, 8 or 9 games at this point. They have a substantial lead over there. They're a damn good basketball team. They try their ass off in the regular season every year, get themselves the 1 seed, don't get the job done. You want to know who does get the job done when push comes to shove? Steph Curry and the Warriors. This is just a regular season game. It happens. Come playoff time, whole nother ball game.
I guess. I don't know. 50 points is crazy. 50 points is crazy. The only other thing I had on the NBA was Chet Holmgren liking that Instagram post of
What the
And it's
Micheal Bridges shit?
it was LeBron looking at KD, and KD had a funny look on his face and says, "Me looking at bro," when he says she has potential when a 6-year-old walks past us.
What?
It's just
That's
like
pretty nuts.
the same
Josh
energy
Giddey.
as same energy as Josh Giddey not being invited to his jersey retirement at his high school.
Dude, Josh Giddey cannot catch a break.
Guy really can't.
But our Thunder are finally getting national media attention. Everyone's talking about him being the next big three after KD, Russ, and what's his face, Harden.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how familiar I am with Giddey's game, if we're being completely honest, on the court.
He's a glorified Ben Simmons.
Right.
That's honestly a good comparison.
I've seen
what
him
he is.
play. I've seen him play enough where I'm like, he's athletic and good, but like, what's so special about him to call him in a big three, especially if those other two are Shea.
It was
Chet.
Chet, Shea, and Jalen Williams. They didn't put Giddey in there.
And who?
Jalen Williams.
Is he that guy?
Yeah,
Santa,
he is
Santa
that
Clara
guy.
legend.
He has one of the highest field goal percentages, and he's gonna be an all defensive player.
Okay, shit. Give it to
He
him.
was on the team that with Santa Clara and I think he like averaged like ridiculous amount of points in college.
Yeah, he's really fucking good.
Like that Santa Clara team like didn't have good other players, but he was so good that like he just like forced them to be relevant.
Yeah, they need to draft Auburn Jalen Williams next year. Get
Yeah,
Jalen Williams.
I got tripped up when you said his name at first. I'm like, are you talking about our boy?
Well, they have him, and then they have the Jalen Williams from Arkansas a couple of years ago. So they'd have three if they drafted the Auburn.
Yeah, but that guy, the one you're talking about, I think gets like 10 minutes a game.
He's not good. He gets less minutes than like Isaiah Joe out there.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, good stuff. Unlike the Kansas future, the OKC one I love.
Yep. Yeah, that one's looking great.
That one's nuts. Plus 8,000, by the way.
They're not going to be able to get it done. Too young.
Probably not. I mean, I'm realistic as always. It's going to be tough. Definitely too young, especially when these veteran guys turn it on in the playoffs. But a fun one to be on for sure.
Yeah, looking back on it, we should have given out their win total as like their win total and them to win it all. So
what was their win total at? Do we remember?
Yeah.
It's probably like mid-high 40s.
Like 39 and a half.
Yeah, probably around
or higher. Or
I want
like
to say like
42 and a half.
44 and a half. Because they
I have
were
no
a
idea what it
play-in
was.
team last year, so they probably expected them to be a little better than that. But around 40, mid-40s.
Around 40-ish, yeah. I can see that. All right, what do we got on the MLB? Big arms are still out there. Blake Snell still unsigned. Jordan Montgomery still unsigned. Obviously, Bellinger fell off the board. Couple utility guys. I know Tommy Pham, is he still out there?
He's still out there, and he's taking BP, and that's workout clothing. So maybe he's trying to tell him something.
Philly's got Whit Merrifield. I don't know if we covered that too much, but great utility guy for the Phillies bench. Love that move. He is 35, so I'm not expecting much out of him, but huge for a utility guy. Johan Rojas looks jacked out of his mind. Let's see if he can lay off a slider 10 feet out of the zone. That's yet to be seen, but he looks jacked. So the ball should be able to go out of the infield, and he plays lights out defense. I'd say he plays gold glove defense. I've seen him make the plays. He just got to put it together with the bat.
No. Phillies are going to be solid. They're going to be good.
They're definitely going to be solid. They re-signed Wheeler. We got Wheeler locked in. $40 million a year, kind of a lot. It's only 3 years. Wheeler is 33. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Let him hit the open market? Taijuan Walker has been missing, taking personal days, gone from the team.
After he deleted
hasn't thrown bullpens, hasn't shown up. Nobody knows where he is. Rob Thompson has no idea.
Sounds like
he's at MIA.
Was that Quintana with fucking what's his face? Luis Rojas said he has no idea where he is in his rehab.
No, that was who did Luis Rojas did say that about somebody.
Forget it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't Katana.
I thought it was Cespedes.
No, it was a pitcher. No, it was Carrasco. It was Carrasco.
That's what it was. Carrasco. Because I had Carrasco on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, morning batting practice. Luis Rojas says he has no idea where Carlos Carrasco is and his injury progress. And the reporter literally was like, dude, you're the manager. Like, what do you mean you have no idea how one of your top pitchers? What do you mean you have no idea?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we have no idea.
That
So
guy
Luis Rojas didn't last long.
he had no business being a major league manager.
Who was better, him or Mickey Callaway?
Him, Luis Rojas. Mickey Callaway was. They were bad in different ways, but at least Luis Rojas didn't like get the sexual assault allegations and all that shit.
Yeah, I think Mickey Callaway, like, dude, I'm telling you, that guy was like doing some of those moves on purpose, like just pitching decisions and lineup cards and shit
That
like
guy,
that.
yeah, he was something else. Rob Manfred actually did something kind of cool, so I get it's cool, but it's also this guy's an idiot for not promoting it better. So he's doing a prospects day on March 15th. So all the major leaguers just have the day off for spring training, and it's just going to be like kind of like the futures game for each team. I don't know. That's kind of a cool little addition. But yeah, good for Rob Manfred actually doing something right for once.
Spring training game for the prospects, basically.
Yeah, so all the like actual vets or major league players are getting the day off, and then it's just going to be like a prospect showcase.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, if we're being honest, one of the craziest things about the MLB is the farm system and how these players go through the minor leagues and make their way into the MLB. And to show some of those prospects who don't ever get that light of day is pretty cool for the fans. I mean, whether you're a first round draft pick by your team or a dude who's been in the minors and is just now like, on the pinnacle trying to get up in there, that's pretty cool, man. Give these guys a shot, showcase them a little bit, see who shows up when the lights are bright. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's perfect just to have the spring training game too. So yeah, good on you, Rob. You did something right.
I'm not giving Rob Manfred any props. Brian, your guy, Eddie Rosario, to the Nationals on a minor league deal.
Yep, he'll hit like
You love to see it?
He'll hit 5 homers against the Mets this year.
He might. He could be a Met killer. He could be a Met killer. He'll be a guy that's like batting 190 on the year, like horrible, but then they'll show his Met against Met stats, and it'll be like 310, multiple home runs.
You know what it'll be? It'll be a doubleheader where they get the 26th man, and he'll be the 26th man. They bring it from AAA, and he'll hit 2 home runs in the day part of doubleheader and the night part of doubleheader.
I can 100% see that happening, but hey, we can all agree. Wait, Jack, are you a Yankees guy?
No.
I know, Brian, you probably hate the Yankees, or are you not you like the Yankees?
I hate the Phillies more than I hate the Yankees, but I don't like the Yankees.
How awesome was it seeing Carlos Rodon get rocked in spring training and let up 2 home runs?
He's cut his spring ERA down by 0.10 from his ERA last year. So he's at like a 6.75 instead of a 6.85.
And I love how like they're trying to say that it's like, oh, he's out there experimenting. It's like, bro, you let up 2 home runs in 3 innings and got rocked.
Yamamoto got rocked too today. He has like a 9 ERA in spring training. But it's spring for a reason.
It's still early. I get it. But I don't know. It's just funny because Carlos Rodon is getting a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
A lot, like $165 million over 6 years. That's another little thing, though. Look at, I mean, dude, Scott Boras, like, how annoying is this guy?
He's the worst part about baseball.
Bro, he comes out, he's like, so these Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery have not been signed, aren't signing. He comes out, I guess this was a couple days ago, and he's like, just in the past week, 4 new teams have inquired about free agent pitchers Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery. There's a pitching panic going on in baseball.
This is their dickhead agent, right?
Yeah. Dickhead agent. What 4 teams have magically now become interested? Scott.
Oh, it's the guy just is obsessed with taking his clients to bidding wars and waiting till the very last minute. And he doesn't care if it takes till opening day. That's why Peter
No.
Alonso's not going to sign an extension because he's like, in his mind, which I guess is good for the player. He thinks the bidding atmosphere is going to get him the most money, which I guess he's right.
Yeah.
And it's just like this. It's kind of crazy.
I also didn't know that the Red Sox had Lucas Giolito.
Yep.
I also didn't know that he might miss the whole season with a bad elbow.
Yep. But at least
So-
they have ketchup dispensers in Fenway Park now. It's
Yeah,
like the first time.
At least we got that. And then the only other two big news things were Oakland A's releasing the renderings of the new stadium, which looks ridiculous. Going to be a gorgeous stadium for a team that's pretty bad. They had to put somebody on the Jumbotron out of right field. It's Zach Getloff or whatever the guy's name.
Yeah, that guy's good. Speaking of fantasy baseball, he was on my team last year.
Yeah. How was your fantasy baseball team?
It wasn't bad because of him.
Yeah.
I made the
I
playoffs,
guess so.
I think.
And then the only other thing, MLB The Show, we get female athletes.
I had that.
That's pretty nuts.
And people are saying it's unrealistic. Meanwhile,
it is.
Well, last year they're playing with the creative mode stadiums, and they got Jurassic Park in the outfield, and like what do you expect? It's a video game.
You're gonna have like literally a girl at shortstop.
But yeah, at the same time, you're winning like 20 World Series with the Pittsburgh Pirates in a row in my career mode. Why can't you play as a girl and do the same thing? It's like
I have no idea. It's ridiculous.
It's all unrealistic. Who cares?
Yeah. The MLB will obviously we'll start cranking up the MLB as we get closer to opening day, which will be in the middle of March Madness.
So will we really even get into it?
So will we really even dive into it? Maybe mid-April. I just got my April ballpark pass for the Phillies. 11 games, $99. About $10 a ticket. Not bad.
Any
maybe a little less. No, they got rid of.
They got rid of them?
Of Dollar Dog Night, the Phillies did, yeah.
What?
Now it's BOGO Night, buy one get one.
Oh.
And then they spun it and blamed it on the fans, saying that
that video came out of the fans.
I mean, the video was pretty ridiculous. The video was ridiculous.
Chucking the hot dogs.
Yeah, the video was out of control, but it's instead of Dollar Dog now it's buy one get one. So you get 2 hot dogs for $10. So is it even a deal?
2 hot dogs for $10.
Nah, it's not.
It's not.
It couldn't be a deal, but it is
not.
At
that's not what.
No,
that's not what it is.
It's got to be like 2 for $5.
Yeah, it's like 2 for $6 or something like that.
That's
or maybe it's like 4 hot dogs for $10. Either way, it's not Dollar Dog Night anymore, which is a baseball classic, part of America's pastime.
It's a damn
no more Dollar Dog Nights. They call it BOGO Nights. Buy one get one. Unreal. All right, NHL trade deadline coming up. Flyers just made a huge deal. Sean Walker, who they got last year as part of the Ivan Provorov trade. And Sean Walker having a career year, expiring contract. Danny Briere masterclass. Cashes in, gets the first-round pick. Although if it's a top 10 pick next year when they have the pick, it moves to 2026. But the Avalanche are loaded. It's not going to be a top 10 pick. It's going to be, honestly, a late first-round pick. But either way, I think the Flyers have 2 first-round picks next year, which is huge for a team that's rebuilding, overachieving, and rebuilding. So, love to see that. We got to get Micheal into Philly in a Flyers uniform. That's a guy. Everybody's going to have his jersey on. Heard it here first. Everybody's going to be rocking it. Everybody's going to be wearing it. The guy's going to be lights out. He already is lights out. He's just trapped in Russia because whatever that whole contract situation is, he's still got to play there for another 2 or 3 years. But when he does eventually come over, what's it with Philly and having guys who, they're amazing, but they got to wait till they come over? Dario Saric was the prime example, although he's a rotation guy on the Warriors, so
yeah, he was
no
good
harm,
when he was
no
on
foul
Philly.
there. Yeah, he's all right. Either way, that's all I had was the huge Flyers trade. They get the first-round pick, and the team's still solid. We'll see what happens there. Brian, you got anything on your beloved Capitals?
Yeah, I was just going to say the Capitals beat your wagon of the Flyers. 5 straight goals after going down 2-0.
Yeah,
I should have live bet the Caps on that, but we'll take it.
It's definitely a joke. And then obviously Tarasenko going from Ottawa to the Panthers. The Panthers best record. They're lights out. And then they get Tarasenko, who helped the Lightning win in 2019. So that's a huge upgrade for them. They're easily, I mean, it's got to be the Panthers out of the Eastern Conference and the Avalanche out of the Western Conference. That's my Stanley Cup final right now. What do you guys got?
I've got the Panthers to win it all. That's my pick.
Do we finally have a Jack future?
We finally have my pick, the NHL Stanley Cup winner. It's the Florida Panthers. This team has reminded me a lot of what happened with the Lightning a few years ago. Insane regular season, and then get bounced in the playoffs pretty early on, and then the follow-up season. This is when it happens, right? I know the Panthers were wagons last year. They're wagons again this year. But the difference is they got bounced last year. They took that. They learned from it. They're going to win it all this year. Active at the trade deadline. Love to see that. I like the Florida Panthers out of South Florida, baby.
The other thing is, too, the Panthers kind of got away on a steal because the Senators have to retain 50% of Tarasenko's salary. So not only is it a rental, they only got to pay half his salary. So they're very prime to go win the Cup. But I still like the Avalanche. That was my future. Brian, who was your future?
The Maple Leafs.
Oh, yeah. So Brian, Maple Leafs, I got the Avalanche, Jack of the Panthers. That's a good way to wrap up the show as we've been rambling on for quite a while. Brian's got a long night of editing ahead of him, but that's why we do it. So you guys can stay locked in and enjoy the action-packed episode every week. We got another one coming out Saturday. Look out for the IG Live. We'll be getting in on that as well. Obviously, a lot of college basketball as we're in prime time. And then stay tuned for possibly a little views from Section 400 March Madness bracket. Maybe we'll do like a $5-10 buy-in. You Venmo Brian, we'll get you in there. Not only does winner get money, maybe we'll feature you for an interview on one of the pods. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm Matt. Might see it, well, maybe not this week, but next week, getting some living arrangements changed up. So I might have a new little studio. So stay tuned for that. Might have a different background or backdrop. Not going to see this Philly skyline anymore, but we will be in the city. So stay tuned for that little switch up coming, but the still same action-packed, hyped up personality that I try to bring will be there as always. So, like I said, I'm Matt, Jack, and Brian, always along for the ride. That's all I got. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Let's go Maple Leafs.
Now in the mix with DJ Savage.
Trey Benson's the best running back in this draft class.
Who?